Alright, what's good with y'all boys? BB Team, welcome back to another reaction. This is by what's his name? Court Ritchie. It's called Why Height Actually Matters. So we're about to get into this video, guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Wait, am I recording? Yep, I'm recording. So I'm telling you, just gotta make sure, you know.
Summer of 2018, I was living in one of the most populated cities in the US. Incredibly lonely, My self-esteem was cheeks, primarily because the girl I was seeing at the time was getting hers clapped by a friend of mine.
That's not your friend.
And I heard it. Not the best self-esteem booster you'd think. I live with some friends, Frugal Aesthetic, Jimmy Zhang, and Fly with Johnny Tai, and homies were pretty tired of seeing me depressed on the couch, which is fair. So they took my phone and reworked my entire Tinder account, specifically my bio, which after a few minutes of them messing with it, said, I'm 6'2", former All-American D1 high jumper, and yeah, I have a great personality. Also, I'm 6'2". Height 6'2".
Seems like there's kind of a theme going here.
Yeah, it's not that difficult of an observation, is it? So naturally, I turn to them like, bruh. Like, although funny, bit of an oversell, I feel like. On an aspect, I don't even think is worth mentioning that much. Like, sure, I'm tall, but it's not like that big of a deal, right? They go, bro, are you kidding? You being 6'2" is a huge sell. Trust us. And I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. Besides,
I don't even know why women are even like that. Why does height even matter? That's something I will never understand. Same thing with these men not liking tall women. Why does height even matter?
it's really looking at this, if anything, it looks like it was written by someone who isn't 6'2", like there's yeah.
You think they were projecting?
I wouldn't say that per se. I just think they thought maybe height was a bit more of a factor than it was, and they were kind of showing that to me.
So they were projecting?
Pretty much.
Yeah, probably. Now look, in my personal life, I never really considered height a factor in if like girls wanted me like that. Like sure, I'm socially tall. I'm about 6'2", and the average height is more around 5'10". But I never saw it as like the clincher, you know? Like I never clutched a date with a girl and was like, you know what really did it though? Me having 4 inches.
Exactly.
Pause, yo, I don't think a lot of people are saying that in many scenarios. But still, to this day, that interaction still gets me for 2 reasons. One, because the dude my girl had cheated on me with was taller than me. And 2, because when I put the height in the bio, I was getting a lot more matches. So really, does height matter? I don't think so. But am I insecure enough to do 7 hours of research to prove it?
For some reason, to a lot of these people, it does. For whatever weird reasons. I have no clue as to why that is, but it is what it is, you know?
Abso-fucking-lutely. So, this is why height doesn't matter.
Shout out to Patreon.
All right, y'all, so I got this whole thing figured out, okay? The way to prove if height matters, now bear with me, I'm about to throw some high syllable college words into this, is to confirm if there is such thing as a height bias. Courage patent pending, phrase I came up with myself.
None of those words were over 2 syllables. Putting height in front of bias doesn't make it a new term, and even if it did, you can't put a patent on it.
You were just a blast at parties, huh?
I like to think so.
Now, what is a height bias, courage patent pending? Well, it's a prejudice in favor of or against height, usually in a way considered to be unfair. I did not just put height in the Google definition of that. A real life example of this that'll help you understand what I mean, but will probably also make me look racist. All right, so if y'all couldn't tell, I am black. Now, there is a prejudice bias for black people about being good at basketball, which technically I could benefit from in that light if, I don't know, I really wanted to get in some pickup game in like the rural South. And what I'm trying to say is, all in all, it's something to be taken advantage of because of someone else's preconceived bias. Like, am I getting picked for the basketball team for 1 or 2 reasons? But the problem with going down this route is that getting people to admit their subconscious biases out loud, as maybe Twitter or being drunk, is kind of hard. Yet in some sweet twist of irony, the people who I think will give us the answers can use neither Twitter or alcohol and are actually pretty short.
Curtis, did you interview kids to ultimately try and prove that girls didn't like you just because you were tall?
No.
Ain't no
Someone
way.
else interviewed kids to ultimately prove the girls didn't like me just because I was tall.
Oh my god.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
interesting, okay, Vivi?
You're really doing all this research just to prove your personality isn't 6'2".
Fuck you. Anyway, kids are a good baseline to understand the subconscious on a scientific level because kids' brains haven't developed the parts that help inhibit just blurting out loud, and also in a real world way. One time I was walking around and a kid just looked at me and called me hairy, which wasn't wrong. So there was a study done that took 28 preschool age children and had them judge the strength, dominance, smartness, and concern for others. I don't know, like what that was, that like empathy? Like empathy of men and women of different heights. And the results were not what I wanted to see. The kids thought that taller people seemed both stronger and more dominant, and in another study, smarter.
So what does that tell us?
Well, basically, that tallness equates to being more dominant, stronger, and maybe smarter. And honestly, I don't even know if we can trust this information, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
'cause
on.
like,
You even-
like the thing is, height really doesn't matter for when it comes to strength. Because say if a guy is like 6'5" and he's mad skinny and he's real bony, and if I was like go toe to toe with him, I'm pretty strong. I'm not buff. I am pretty strong, but well, say if no, let me leave me out of it. So take a short somebody who's like 5'4", who's very muscular. Who do you think really gonna win? Think about it.
I thought asking kids was a good idea. Like, what do they know? All right, like they're kids.
You did. You literally said it.
I don't remember that. Interview kids to ultimately prove the girls didn't like me just because I was tall.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know who that man is.
Really?
Okay, whatever. My research backfired on me, but like, yo, come on. We're talking about the moral judgment of people who watch fucking Blue's Clues, okay? I think I deserve a little slack. Like, I don't feel more dominant or smarter because I'm tall. I don't even feel those, period. And I'm sure if we keep looking at the numbers, we'll find something to prove me right. All right.
Okay.
All right, then bet. Let's look up what the fuck? Where did you get a computer here? What?
So, it says taller people tend to earn more money.
I'm not tall enough to about that computer. Where did you get this? Seriously, how?
Taller political candidates tend to get more votes too.
Wait, really?
And taller men and women are considered to be more dominant, healthy, intelligent, and are more likely to be chosen for more competitive jobs.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily.
Various studies have found that the greater your height, the higher your score in measures of happiness and enjoyment of life.
I'm not very happy right now, especially hearing all this, so that's not necessary.
Finally, study after study has found that taller men and women are generally considered more attractive.
Yo, since when have you been a short rights activist, huh?
Since I've been short.
What the fuck are you talking about? We're like the same height.
No, we're not. I'm 5 feet tall.
What the fuck? Like with the zero at the end?
Yeah, with a 0 at the end.
What am I bugging right now?
You definitely are.
Damn, I guess I never really noticed.
Literally how?
I mean, I don't know. I just never pictured you as short. You know, that short, especially.
Who's height racist now?
Wait, what? What?
Why did you think I was taller?
It just felt like it. Like you didn't seem short to me in my head when I picture you.
Because you're height racist.
I think you're right. Oh my god. Okay, maybe there is some truth
Height
to this whole
racist?
biases thing. In fact, I think that might be the key here. All right, let me break this down real quick. I don't meet people IRL. Shit is gross. So usually I make friends online, which is about what you'd expect for someone who complains about their height on the internet. Now, the difference between meeting people on the internet versus real life is your impression of them. In real life, your first impression of someone is usually their looks, their style, and their stature, aka the height. I don't know about y'all, but I build an image in my head and make an idea of the person like that, mostly based off of what they look like. Now, online, you don't have that. First impression of someone you met on Discord is their voice, maybe their emoji usage, and their stupid fucking profile picture. And from there, you make all your judgments of that person based off of those things alone. And naturally, you build an image in your head too. I mean, maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like everybody does this. For example, you watching this on your screen right now, I'm talking to you. I want you to pause and think about someone you met online who you've never seen the actual height of. A friend, a lover, whatever. Now, how tall do you think they are?
Let me see. I feel like my boy Gangster Studios will at least be like 5'7" or 5'9". That's just my thing. That's my thing. I feel like Gangster Studios Gangster Studios would be 5'7" or 5'10". 5'7" or 5'9".
Chances are, even if it was a little difficult, you could probably come up with a general number. Well, how did you do that? You've never seen them before. You have nothing to go off of. Well, that means you did it based off their personality. Meaning there is a certain type of positive personality with being tall that we associate people with. Bro, this is nuts. And I do this too. I do this too. Like, look, I have 3 friends. They've all been on the channel before. Jen, Katie, and Kay. Now, Jen is a very extroverted, out there, happy, excited personality. Katie has a nice, kind, soft, must protect little sister vibe. And Kat is like an IRL anime girl, but mean and sociopath. Now, just based off those descriptions, you can probably have your
That's basically most women.
own mental image of what they're like in terms of stature. Well, I did too. That got shattered. They all had planned to come to New York at some point, and I had a general picture of what they look like in my mind. Now, here's the numbers, okay? I thought Jen was about 5'8". Katie maybe around 5'1", and Kat maybe around 5'4". And eventually, I meet them all in person, and they are all about the exact same height, which means I wasn't right on any of them. They're all around like 5'2", 5'3", which I was not expecting in the slightest. And the only way I came to that conclusion was based off their personality. That means there is a height correlated personality. And the problem is that sometimes I think the reverse is true too. Some of y'all know Dory from Getting the Robot, says BTB. She is, I shit you not, the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. And she is as tall as you think she is. I legally cannot say her actual height. She will bite my ankles for saying that on.
Oh yeah, she's short. By your ankles, she's short.
And you know what? This is a thing, apparently. When someone says, hey, you've got a tall personality, according to a personality expert, what you're actually saying is you seem like a person who has a naturally tall height and all that brings with it. Because what others truly perceive is A, high self-esteem, and B, assertiveness when it comes to height. Quiet and you're soft, you might be seen like as a little shorter. You're more extroverted and proud and strong and out there, you might be seen as taller, which would probably mean that off knowing your height, you would project these emotions onto the person. So it would be safe to assume that seeing someone who was taller would trigger a subconscious bias. That might be cooler, stronger, and suaver than I actually am. And it doesn't help that all those other facts come together with it. Like, yo, John Cena is 6'1", which is tall. But it feels weird that I'm taller than him. That's how I know I have a bias. So were my homies right in that 6'2" in my bio is a big boon? I still don't feel like it, you know? I don't know. I've been tall for about a decade, and sure, it's been helpful with me maybe reaching things in the cupboard. But yo, I haven't had any relationships to my knowledge that my height was like make or break. And I don't have any research to prove it, and I am not calling my ex.
Oh, that would be fun.
It would not. I don't know. When people might see me a certain way, but when those relationships run, they end up seeing me for who I am behind the height. Like, sure, I might get a date or something because they might see the 6'2" in the bio. Sure, it might trigger those unconscious biases. Sure. But when you go on that date, what's gonna matter is I'm funny. I'm interesting. So I'd like to think my personality isn't 6'2". I'm not sure how, but it's a bit deeper than that. So all in all, height does matter a bit, but probably not as much as you think, at least to me. But that's just my opinion.
I'm glad you could finally understand.
Thanks, Vivi. Now, where the fuck did you buy that computer, though?
Oh, sorry. I can't hear you from all the way up here.
Vivi, we're not gonna do this right now. Now, height might bring you a little boost when it comes to the real world, but like we said, it's not make or break. So you need to be less concerned in gaining inches and more interested in gaining knowledge. That was smooth. Smooth ass transition. Now, this video is brought to you by Skillshare.
I knew it. So I ain't gonna watch that sponsor. Hope you guys do the video. If y'all did, make sure I caught you punch that like button in the face like a boss, and peace out.